Hello everyone, welcome to Algebra 2, Section 5.3 today. We're going to add, subtract, multiply polynomials. Okay, it's kind of an easy section today, so it shouldn't be too overwhelming. So first off, we're going to add polynomials together. So we have polynomial number 1 plus polynomial number 2. Now the first setup is vertical format. You can do any format you want, but let me show you this one. Vertical means on top of each other. Notice what they did. Excuse me. Notice they put 2x cubed on top of x cubed down here. They put x squared on top of x squared. There was no other x's, so they just left it blank down here. And then they put the constants on top of each other. So there's an imaginary 1 here, so 2 plus 1, 3x cubed. Notice the exponents don't change. Negative 5 plus 6 is a positive 1. Plus 3 plus nothing, there's a plus 3. And then negative 9 plus 11 gives you a positive 2. So there is your vertical format when you add polynomials together. Basically just adding like terms, right? 2x cubed plus x cubed, there's 3x cubed. Negative 5 plus 6, there's x. 3x plus nothing, there's 3x. Negative 9 plus 11, there is your plus 2. Final answer. The second one, they show you a horizontal format. So basically just writing them both on the same line horizontally. So add these two up. So this first polynomial plus the second polynomial. And all you have to do is get like terms by the together. So notice that this has no like term with it, so you bring that down, 3y cubed. The negative 2, always bring what's before the term, negative 2 plus negative 4, which gives you your negative 6y squared. You got your negative 7y plus your positive 2y, which gives you 5 minus 5y. Then you got whatever's left over, your minus 5 left over. So there is adding horizontally. You choose whatever method you want to choose. Does not matter. Alright. Example type number 2, it says to subtract. So we could subtract vertically or horizontally as well, your choice. So, but pay attention to the wording here. Subtract this from this. So what this is saying is this guy's on top, this guy's on the bottom. Okay, so pay attention to how it's set up. Here we go. Notice that the 8x cubed is on top. This one's on the bottom. Please don't mix those up. Notice they're right on top. X cubed on top of x cubed, x squareds, x, and constants. Notice the subtraction sign. Here we go. 8 minus 3, 5x cubed. Pay attention to signs. Negative 1x squared minus positive 2. Negative 1 minus 2 is negative 3x squared. Next, negative 5 minus negative 1, which gives you plus 1, which is negative 4 or minus 4x. Then you got your 1 minus 7, which gives you your negative 6. Alright, another example we have here is subtract horizontally. So, if you subtract this from this, this has to go first. That's why you see it first over here. Now, if we're subtracting horizontally, they're written side by side. So what the book does is it kind of distributes the minus sign to each of these. That's why you see what you see in red over here. Or you could just do 4z squared minus 5z squared, which is negative 1z squared, right? And then just keep going. Plus 9 minus negative z, you get an answer. Negative 12 minus 3, get an answer. Or do it the way the book does it. Your choice once again. So the book does it this way. We can go 4z, just do like terms now. Negative z squared plus 9 plus z gives you plus 10z. And then you got minus 12 minus 3 minus 15. Okay, so there is subtracting horizontally. you do this as some practice. So pause the video, do this one. Here's your answer. The second one, pause the video, do this one. And here's your answer to that. Alright, example type number 3. We're going to multiply polynomials. There's a couple ways to do this. So let me show you kind of both ways on this. Letter A. This, you guys know how to do x plus 2, x plus 3. Right? You know how to multiply binomials by using FOIL. But now you're multiplying a trinomial times a binomial. Here's what you want to do. You want to take each term. Here's the first term. You're going to take that and multiply it to this whole binomial. So let me write that down here. Negative 2y squared multiplied to the whole binomial, y minus 2. And then you got plus 3y. You're going to multiply this to the whole binomial. So plus 3y to y minus 2. And then you got your last one, minus 6 times the whole binomial, y minus 2. After this, I hope you remember all your distributing skills and figure out the rest of the answer. Here we go. Negative 2y squared times y is negative 2y to the third power. Know your rules. Remember that from section 1. Next, negative 2 times that is a plus 4y squared. Next, plus 3y times y is 3y squared. And then 3y times minus 2 is a minus 6y. Over here, minus 6 times y, minus 6y. And lastly, minus 6 times 2 is your plus 12. Be careful of all the minus signs. That's where I get people. Okay, now like terms. There is no like term with this, so bring it down. Negative 2y cubed plus 4y squared plus 3y squared plus 7y squared minus 6y minus 6y minus 12y. And then we still have plus 12 over here. Final answer, descending order. There you go. Alright, letter B. Okay, letter B, multiplying polynomials. Now we got the binomial times the trinomial. So we could approach this a little bit differently. Okay, here's another approach we could have. We could take this x right here, this element, times this, then times this, then times this. Alright, and then write all those down, and then we take the plus 3 times this, times this, times this. So it's basically getting you all the possibilities. We're multiplying x times everything, and then plus 3 times everything. So, I'm going to write it out here. X times the first one, 3x squared, and then we have x times, then we got minus 2x times the x, and then we have x times, so plus 4 times the x. So I multiplied x to the first three things. Let's do the plus 3 to everything. So plus 3 to the first one, 3x squared, plus 3 to the next one, negative 2x, and then plus 3 to the last one, to the positive 4. Notice what I did. I just multiplied every possibility up here. Now just do some work here. X times 3x squared, 3x to the third, minus 2x squared, plus 4x, plus 9x squared, minus 6x, plus 12. Lastly, just put the like terms together. There's 3x cubed by itself. There's minus 2 plus 9, so plus 7x squared. Plus 4x minus 6x is minus 2x. And lastly, plus 12. There you go. Alright, example type number 4. Multiply 3 binomials. So, step 1, put them like this. X plus 1, x plus 3. Now what you want to do, the trick to multiplying 3 of them is just multiply the first two. Binomial times a binomial, you FOIL, so you get x squared plus x minus 5x, and then last minus 5. There's FOIL. And then you still got x plus 3. But let's simplify this left hand side over here. So x squared minus 4x minus 5. So the first two multiplied to give me this. Still times x plus 3. Now you already know how to multiply a trinomial times a binomial. So take x squared times x plus 3. So x squared, x plus 3, minus 4x. Be careful with the minuses. Times x plus 3. And then last, minus 5 times x plus 3. Okay, do a little simplifying here. Distributive property, x cubed plus 3x squared minus 4x squared if I distribute here, and then distribute here would be minus 12x, distribute here would be minus 5x, distribute here would be minus 15. Alright, last step is to combine like terms. X cubed is by itself, plus 3x squared minus 4x squared becomes minus x squared, minus 12 minus 5, minus 17x, and lastly minus 15. There you go. That's how you multiply three binomials together. Alright, last example that we are going to do in this section, section 3, is special products. So take a look at this right here. You notice something, that 3t plus 4, 3t minus 4. This is a plus b times a minus b. This is the difference of squares. This is factored out. So if we want to multiply these two things together, you should know what a plus b times a minus b is. That's a squared minus b squared. So we're kind of going backwards where we were before. So it's a is 3t. So a squared minus whatever b is the 4 squared. Let's simplify this into 3t squared is 9t squared minus 4 squared is 16. Now watch yourself on the shortcuts, but if you wanted to, just FOIL here, 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 here. Okay, just FOIL these things together. You still get 9t squared minus 16. Next type is this right here, the square of a binomial. Now the shortcut is not to do 8x squared and then 3 squared. That is not the shortcut. There is a shortcut to this one, but my advice to you would probably just be do 8x minus 3 times excuse me, 8x minus 3. And then FOIL these two, and you'll see a little pattern here. Okay, so just FOIL those two, and you get 64x squared, and then you get minus 24x, and then you get another minus 24x. There's the pattern. And then you get minus 3 times minus 3 is plus 9. Final answer, 64x squared minus 48x plus 9. Final answer. So if you have a squared here, that really just means times it twice. And then lastly, there is a cube one. So just think about what this means for a second. You got p cubed plus 5 all cubed. So if you don't know the shortcut, here's what I advise you to do. What this means is p cubed plus 5 times p cubed plus 5 times p cubed plus 5. Just like we did the last example, example 4, you would just multiply these two together, get an answer, and then you would take that, multiply it to the last one, get your final answer. But there is a shortcut to this. Let me show you. A plus b cubed is the same as, is equal to, you might want to put this in your notes here. You definitely want to put it in your notes. A cubed plus maybe 1a cubed doesn't matter, plus 3a squared b to the first plus ab squared, 3ab squared plus b cubed. Do you notice the pattern of this thing right here? Well, it's just a cubed, a squared, a to the first, and then there's no a's here, so a to the 0. There's no b's here, so we'll say b to the 0, b to the first, b to the second, b to the third. Notice the a's go down in powers, and the b's go up in powers. That's how you can remember this thing right here. So there is the thing. So if we used it on this right here, let's use it. 1a to the third power. So a in this case is pq. So pq to the third plus 3 times a squared. So a is pq squared, and then times b. So b is next, and b over here was 5. So you put b. Okay, and then we do plus 3a, which was pq, b squared, which b was 5, so 5 squared, and then plus b cubed, so plus b was 5, cube it. This is the shortcut. So this is what? P cubed, q cubed, plus, alright, we gotta do pq squared, so p squared, q squared. We do 3 times the 5, which is 15, p squared, q squared. Next, we got 3 times 5 squared. Well, 5 squared is 25. So 3 times 25 is 75. And we got pq to the first power, so just pq. And next, we got plus 5 cubed, so plus 125. Nothing can simplify, so you just circle this and you're finished. That's how you do anything a binomial cubed. Okay, to finish off the section, let's do some practice. So go ahead and do number 3, pause the video and do number 3. Here's your answer to number 3. Okay, next, number 4. Pause the video and do number 4. Alright, here's your answer. And lastly, number 5. This binomial cubed. Pause the video, and find your answer. There you go. If you have any extra, or if you need any extra help, please come see me. What I want you guys to do right now is to go to your homework and to do the problems that I assigned for you. And after you do several of those, I want you to start the next podcast on section 4.